Unacceptable. Unacceptable, and you need to be punished to the fullest extent for this to happen.
A state assemblyman is calling for action following claims of neglect and mismanagement at a local nursing home. That reaction from Assemblyman Harry Bronson following our investigation of Waterview Heights, formerly Shorewinds Nursing Home.
That's right. I sat down with the Assemblyman today, just moments before he left for Albany for a press conference. The topic? Severe understaffing at hospitals and nursing homes. Last week, I told you about a family's claims that their mother wasn't given critical medications because there was no one on staff authorized to administer them. And now a staff member has reached out to me to confirm their story.
It was Sunday, November 20th. The family of Carol Lennox called an ambulance to rush their mother to the hospital. She had been living here at Waterview Heights, formerly known as the Shorewinds, when her daughter says she visited and found her mother struggling to breathe.
I go, did she have her meds? He goes, I can't give her meds. I'm only a CNA. I go, so you mean to tell me that she has not had any meds this morning? He said, no, I've been here since 6:30 this morning and nobody's gotten their meds. I go, nobody? Nobody.
Only licensed nurses can administer medication at nursing homes. I spoke to a Waterview Heights employee who confirms there was not a licensed nurse on duty on the floor that day. Assemblyman Harry Bronson says, if true, that is a clear violation of state law.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable, and you need to be punished to the fullest extent for this to happen. There is absolutely no reasonable position that can be taken not to have a nurse on at that facility.
I reached out to Bruce Gendron, vice president of the Grand Healthcare System, the company that now owns the nursing home. He claimed the employee with whom I spoke has been fired and is lying. He wrote, I believe you are dealing with a disgruntled former employee and should consider your source carefully. He did not work alone. We were appropriately staffed for that day. But Carol's family insists there was not a nurse on staff that day. Carol died 6 days later, and Assemblyman Bronson now points to those responsible for regulating nursing homes.
Let's hold the Department of Health accountable. If things are being reported, let's make sure that they're being investigated and corrective actions are being taken and penalties are being levied if indeed they're in violation of the rules and the laws.
So I reached out to the Department of Health. A spokesman told me they launched an investigation immediately after receiving a complaint, and they can't comment further because the investigation is ongoing. But he stressed that if you have a complaint about any nursing home, you should call the number that you see right there on your screen, 1-888-201-4563. As for the Grand Healthcare System, the company that owns the Shorewinds, or Waterview Heights as it's now known, the vice president told me their staffing and pay schedules show staff on all units for that day. He says it also shows that the CNA in question did not work alone. We'll, of course, continue to follow the health department's investigation. And as I mentioned before, I sat down with Assemblyman Bronson moments before he left for Albany. This afternoon, he and other Assembly members, as well as health leaders, held a press conference to shine a light on the critical shortage of healthcare workers in hospitals and nursing homes. In a recent survey of healthcare facilities, 88% revealed that they're operating with negative or razor-thin operating margins, making it almost impossible to fully staff their facilities. So the group is urging legislators to come up with funding for recruitment and retention. Assemblyman Bronson says while there are no excuses for failing to have a nurse on staff, Medicaid's low reimbursement rates are part of the problem.
When we go back into session is to increase by at least 10% the Medicaid rate for nursing homes. So the shortage, this should not have happened no matter what. Yeah. This is unacceptable, should not have happened. But it also reveals the reality that we have a nursing shortage in the healthcare system, and we have to address that.
He says the state also has $187 million to help healthcare facilities with the funding and recruitment of staff, but the legislature will have to make changes so the funding will be available to all nursing homes.